Take Over Tuesday, Glockaware Radio. Love, support, and grace is real. I know it was a flyer, something on my head. Um,
Oh, oh, go
I'm your girl, Nick
Oh,
Raw Cannon. My brother, my right hand brother, will be here soon. Jarue, the assist.
he is
And
on his way.
yeah, he's always on his way, but he gets here because he's the man of a million and one things.
Yeah.
But y'all know our girl Carlita. She's always, the support. She is our listen, this girl doing a lot of big things now. Like, that's what's up. I'm proud of her. I
I
feel like
love
a
what I
big
do.
sister.
I do. I miss you, Miss Nick.
I
I
feel like a
do.
big
And Miss
sister.
Nick, you have not come down a cornerstone. You've come down a cornerstone once.
Listen,
One time, Miss Nick, you came to
I'm
cornerstone.
at this.
Hold on, where the flyers at?
Listen, where are they? I'm at this training phase right now. Currently, I have embarked on a new journey. Still tackling, still doing what I do, still out there in the community doing social services. I have specifically taken a role working with homeless veterans. So I am in my training phase and will have my boots on the ground really soon. But the Cornerstone is definitely one of the places that I'll be dropping in and coming by to see if we can catch and support any veteran needing assistance out there with anything, homelessness, employment, you know, even if they are housed, assistance with housing, if they're at any risk whatsoever of losing their housing, um, I will be there to support that. So,
Did you see that event or know about that event that was downtown over the weekend?
what event?
It was for veterans.
Which
I think
one
it was
is
something. I don't know.
the parade?
The parade.
Yeah, it was on Sunday.
So we have the card. Her name. We're going to pass her along to you.
Oh,
She's
really?
yeah. She's a black woman, and so I'm walking, and she's like, yeah, the veterans shelter for women, and I was like,
Oh,
oh.
yeah.
And so she was like, I'll show you. And I'm like, oh. And she gave me her card. So, and I was telling Drew about it. And so that's so
Absolutely.
cool.
We might have encountered each other
Mm.
just on the back end through referrals and stuff like that. I'm the actual homeless outreach social worker. So I am going to be, reaching out to people who are literally on the street homeless, responding to calls of people who are in need of housing support, are literally homeless or at risk of homelessness. And it's not just it's okay, so we all know that housing is like a major crisis right now in the city of Philadelphia. There's a housing crisis. So it's that, but it's also when you are not connected to housing and you are without a place to live, a place to stay, a place to rest your head, it's hard to address a lot of the other things that you have going on. Is co-occurring conditions like mental health and drug and alcohol and different things like that, um, family problems. A lot of these things are hard to address when you don't peacefully have a place to sleep at night. So when you talk about the homeless population and their needs, it's very complex and it's a lot of things that they need on top of the housing, but like the housing is like the priority. And that is our goal. It's like housing first, work on all the things, the issues, the barriers that you are facing while you're housed and see it through. And it's a process. It's different programs, a lot of programs out there to help veterans with homelessness, to help people with homelessness, but specifically the program I'm working for is veterans, men and women. Like veterans are men and women.
Right.
So, and there's families. So there's veteran families who are struggling with homelessness. And for me, like a veteran and those two words shouldn't even go together
They
in the
shouldn't
same
match.
sentence. Homelessness shouldn't be a thing for anybody, right? We all deserve to have a place to call home. But it's the reality is it
So can you
exists.
help me understand the housing crisis? Because all right, so I'm going through this process of understanding and seeing things for what it was, or what it is, right?
Hmm.
Understanding gentrification because I don't know. would you say a part of gentrification, but I'm a
Yeah,
product.
yeah, we are.
Literally because like 16th and Popular, my grandmother used to own that 3-story building, and
Mhm.
it's tore down. And
Yeah.
where we live at now is because of
Right.
gentrification. So now come
Yeah.
back, it's like okay, and then we see all these,
Right.
and then it's like okay, and then we see all of us kind of like on the streets. What is homelessness in Philadelphia? Like, what is it? How did we get here?
Oh man, we've been here. Let's be all the way honest. We've been here,
At
right? And this,
homelessness?
yeah, we been homelessness has been an issue. Like it's let's be honest. It has been an issue. But the thing is, all the gentrification and the powers that be coming in, buying out properties, and then either selling them or renting them to people outside of the community, outside of the city. And we talked about this on the show before, about how you know the city of Philadelphia is like people from all over the country are like coming to the city of Philadelphia. The city of Philadelphia is a place, and it's a lot. There's a lot going on. And so you have universities and stuff that have students who come from abroad. They get university housing for Temple, for example,
Mm-hmm.
right? They bought up all them properties around Temple University to house students who from the community, but also students who not even from our country, from that from abroad to come in, and they house them. And have you seen some of the ways that when they leave at the end of the year, they've thrown trash out
I
and
have
stuff
not
like that?
seen
You have it.
that. No.
It has been on the news as an issue, and I feel like I'm kind of jumping around here, but it has been on the news as an issue. I've seen it a few times, and it's crazy. It's really ridiculous the lack of respect that some of these students have for the community. And it's a thing. Like it really is a thing. Like
So
they
what
throw
time of year is this?
mattresses
This is around when
at the
they're
end of
in the
the
year.
yeah, at the end of the year
Oh.
when they're leaving and they're going home for the summer, or they're going to come back with different housing, however it looks, because they have summer programs. So when the regular year ends around May, everybody's checking out April and May, and then they have summer programs where students come in for the summer, and they got to be out by a certain time. And unfortunately,
So
this is not a rural area where you can go and have these big, like, out in the county is these places where it's like big dumpsters and stuff, and I don't know if it's legal for people to be using them, but they do it. But you got to schedule your trash pickup. You can't just put mattresses and
mhm.
TV, like you can't put large items out on the curb to get picked up by the trash. You have to schedule those kind of things, and a lot of students, they just don't understand it, don't care. I don't know, but um, the fact that we're in a housing crisis is a lot of different moving parts to why it is. So there's the housing market, right? The availability of units. There is the tenants, what the tenant population looks like, what they're wanting, what they're asking for. The reality is these credit scores, these incomes. I don't know when they increased the income to three times the rent. I don't know when that
Yeah.
happened, because I don't think I've ever paid
It's
three times.
true.
I don't think I've ever made three times my income. I don't think it was required. Let me say
Right.
that. Three times the amount of my rent when I was renting. I haven't been renting for a very long time, but when I was renting, landlords wasn't asking for three times
Your
your
in
rent and
yeah.
income. And for a lot of people, that's hard. Like that's not a reality.
It's impossible to a certain
It's
degree to
impossible to a
you
certain
would
extent.
really have to I'm not you it's you can do it. It's possible, but
Yeah, but then
it's a lot too like
it's you can do it, but it's a lot that's going to come with that. You know what I
especially if you
mean?
already have things like children.
Exactly. If you have a family and you
Yeah.
you got to work two and three jobs, and you leaving your children out here, and the youth out here unattended on the street, it's not, excuse me, it's not feasible for the family structure, right? So the parent got to go out and make three times the rent in order to live and survive, and that leaves the children unattended, and then that leaves the children going to school, and the parents leave these schools, they leave their children in the hands of these teachers in school, and sometimes that don't go so well, and then it's just like, the breakdown begins. But the whole purpose is to provide. The whole struggle is to live and have a decent life, have a place to call home, and that's where it starts to break down, that because we are doing what we need to do to get out here to support ourselves and support our family, and the things that we have to do in order to do it is causing a breakdown in our family structure because we are not there. We got to work all the time. The fathers are being taken out of the homes in order to support the living that we are making. We got to apply to these low income housings that's, making all these requirements that, you can't have this person come stay at your house if they coming home and all that stuff. You can't have this person on your unit living in with you. Nothing. It's just a mess. So, peace and love. Thank you for discussing such important matters.
That's Kylie and Raina.
Peace, beautiful people.
Hi, Kylie. Hi, Raina.
Hey, brother Jarue. What's up, brother Jarue? We all like that today. Look at us. Listen, we all like that today. We all like that today. I'm out here. I'm a mess. Look, listen, y'all gotta excuse me. This is live in effect. This is what happens when you go live. Like, you get it all. You get it all. Ain't no pomp and circumstance over here, baby. No. Listen. That's the way it is. Your mic is not on for some reason. No.
Are we on?
Yeah,
oh, we on. We on. We on. Y'all thought I wasn't coming today, huh?
No, they knew
My
you
sister
was
and I were just having this conversation. We were talking about accountability as a people to heal ourselves and be reminded that family is the true wealth. Thank you.
Yes.
And when we say family, we're not just talking about like husband and wife, like, we're not just talking about that. We talking about the roles grandma gotta pay, the roles uncle gotta play, the big cousin, the big brother, the next door neighbor, like the black family. Yeah, the black. I'm talking about all black folk. That's what I'm talking about. And I know all skin folk ain't your kin folk. Some of y'all is Buckeyes and sellouts and all that. It is what it is. And even that part of it, I understand. I understand trauma can make you do a lot of things, and some of those things are go against yourself and the people that you love. So that thing where we say sellouts and all that, those people really do exist because they decided that they believe in the oppressor and the structure that he put together that helps destroy the black family. They want to believe it. You know what I'm saying? Some people, it's a psychological thing where it's like you're delusional almost, like you really want to believe that America loves you. You know what I mean? As a black person of African descent, you really want to believe that. You want to believe that this country feels that it owes you something for you building it, for you creating the ideas, for you doing the architecture, for you everything was off your back. I never feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again because the truth is just what it is.
And you know what I mean? It's so much to that is so many areas you could touch on that even if we repeating it, it's like sometimes you gotta be repetitive in order for people to understand, and sometimes people need to hear it.
It's definitely one of our sisters, I hope I'm seeing this right. My eyes are bad, y'all. I need to go get glasses, seriously.
Empress.
But Stockholm syndrome, that's a real thing. But what us as Africans, it's that what is it called? It's like some people say psychological slave mentality. Some people say that it's menticide. Because Stockholm syndrome is very similar to what slaves go through. It's very similar, but it's not the same thing.
Right.
And when folks use that, I don't never look and be like, yo, you wrong. But it's more layers to that. Like, add some things to Stockholm syndrome. So when you look at it and say, a person that the trauma is so bad that they start associating with their attacker or with their imprisoner. That's a certain level of captivity that doesn't include a systematic thing.
Yeah, it's not
You know what I'm
systematic.
saying?
Right.
That's Stockholm Syndrome. I guess you can make it systematic if you want to try to apply it to people in large groups, because we do have an idea of what Stockholm Syndrome is. Like what the person, we have a number of things that say, okay, this shows Stockholm Syndrome.
Right.
And then when you look at what our ancestors came out of as far as slavery and the psychological damage that had, it has it had a lot of similarity. Well, Stockholm Syndrome has a lot of similarities to that, because Stockholm Syndrome is named after what was the young lady who was kidnapped and raised by the family, and then once she got to a certain age, she associated more with them as her actual family, even though there was abuse, there was trauma,
Right.
and people couldn't understand it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it was a young white woman, so it was like, we really got to look into this.
Right.
Cause there's no way that her mind should be working in this way. Like for real, that's the reason why that science came to be, where it was like, yo, the land was colonized and the people on it, no doubt about it. Because
Definitely.
and then that's another thing when we start talking about colonization and slavery, those two things are not the same thing. They have a lot of similarities. They do. What our brothers and sisters on the continent went through because of the Berlin Conference and Europe deciding at one of their conferences, and what I tell y'all about when white people have conferences. Check it out. When white people have conferences, things start happening, yo, after the fact, and it don't be good things normally for people of color, black people, African folk.
Not
So
at
when we
all.
talk about the Mohawk Conference and we talk about our education system, that was the beginnings of that. You go look at it. The Nicene Conference, we can go way back with it. You understand what I'm saying? And then the Berlin Joint was, again, when they colonized Africa. But that was, a lot of that was even took, a lot of things that happened in slavery and a lot of the science, as crazy as y'all may think that is, that it was science that was pulled from slavery. That our slave captor, our captors, they did science on how to perfect it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of different things came out, and people, even when you see what went on with the Holocaust, the Germans talk about learning what they were doing from the Americans with slavery. So, and this is all documented. A lot of those scientists were hidden in America after the fact. You know what I'm saying? So we could talk about the situation with the brother and talking about anti-Semitic stuff and people being anti-Semites, and we ain't gonna go far into that. But
Yeah.
we ain't going down in that rabbit hole. But what I will say is, if you do read, and you should read, you'll learn that a lot of the tactics used by Hitler and Germany against Jewish folks in the Holocaust, they were learned from slavery, the science that came out of slavery. You know what I mean? And I can get into the whole thing about like Jewish folks having a big part to play in slavery, the economics of slavery. But we ain't gonna go all into that, But I welcome it.
Yeah, he definitely
So
welcomes.
we don't got a whole lot of time.
We don't.
This is
but
PSA Philly Service Announcement. Our guest is here. Is about our guest.
Always.
It's about the social activism, resources, and art. It's about the love, support, and grace. So without further ado, my right hand sister, the queen,
Yeah,
Raw
always.
Cannon.
Always.
Nick, I'm the assist. Carlita, appreciate you, baby. Always looking out for the team.
Always.
So we gonna let this queen right here go ahead, because we don't introduce
said so.
anybody on this show.
Well, you guys got me at a disadvantage. This is my first time doing a podcast. I thank Carlita for inviting me. That's my husband over there.
Okay.
I'm not
Black
exactly
love.
sure
It's a family show.
what it is you guys, what information you want, but I do have a group we started of friends, really, where we go out and we feed, clothe the homeless and the needy, because everybody that needs doesn't necessarily sit up against the municipal service building on 15th and JFK. Some of them are in homes, living multifamily. And so because there's different types of needs, you need different types of services to offer. I'm also in the middle of some dental work and things, but
Okay.
that's okay.
Take your time. We good. I can hear you.
I'd like to make sure that I'm articulating
Mhm.
clearly. For example, people that are on the street, homeless, can't use dry rice and macaroni.
Mhm.
There's no way to cook it. Canned goods just not going to work.
Mhm.
So what we do is every site that we go out on, we cook some food.
Mhm.
I make homemade soups naturally. I'm using turmeric, I'm using oregano, I'm using all fresh carrots, vegetables, celery, the whole nine. Because we're going to break bread with them. And anything that's left, I'm going to take it home and give it to whomever. So if I wouldn't eat it, I wouldn't give it to somebody. If I wouldn't wear it, I wouldn't give it to somebody. Because first and foremost, we're trying to elevate mindsets. Because so a man thinketh, so is he. So we set it up instead of a flea market, like a free market. We use dress racks, coat racks, because I want them to shop. I want them to make choices. I don't want to say, you can have one of this. And I want them to say, I like this for me. Oh, no, this doesn't look good on me. And I can help them get dressed and say, oh, that looks beautiful, sir. I like that Kango on you. To give them back a sense of belonging to a community, to feel enfranchised and not disenfranchised.
Right.
And that way, maybe they may want to go shopping on their own. Because what I found from being at various sites and being a familiar face, now when I pull my U-Haul truck up, we started in the back of our cars. We started getting so many goods and resources that we now rent a U-Haul for every site we go to every few weeks. Now they see the U-Haul, they ready to unload it.
Right.
That's going to work. Now we got a mindset to work because they know that that truck is for them. It is a part of them. We've packed it and we bought it for them. The goods in it are theirs, and they're going to help unload it because I made them feel that it's for them.
Right.
They feel included. They feel a part of something. And I say to them, y'all, be careful now. Let's not put trash out or anything. I don't want the police coming or the city coming after me saying that I'm disruptive or leaving trash. We got you, sister. Don't you worry. We're not going to let them come after you. We'll clean it up. I get them to help out. Could you give out the mask for me? Would you ask the brothers to put on the gloves so when y'all going through the clothes, everybody say, they take care of that.
Right.
Because I let them know you can still help.
No doubt.
You can still do.
No doubt.
Because you still have worth and value in my heart. They say to me, why you here? You could be home with your family. I am with family. I am with my people. Born and raised in North Philadelphia, though we go all over the city.
Right.
JFK and out 49th and Haverford to Gardenzia and all of, we go all over. Wherever there's a need, I can ride through the city of Philadelphia and I'll tell my husband I'm going to do a giveaway over there.
Right.
Because I see too many people in need.
So the first thing I want to do is, we didn't get your name. You didn't say
Oh,
your
I'm
name.
sorry.
You went right at it, and I don't want to.
Because you know why? Because you know why? Because you know why? I want it to be about greater than
No
me.
doubt. No
I don't
doubt.
even want to have a name. I just want to be that lady. I tell them, Mama, come to Big Mama house. Come get you something to eat.
Right.
They stand back and ask, I'm Sanye McCall.
Okay.
All right.
Can we get the? I love Black Love, so we need to.
My husband Bruce Kemp.
I'm Bruce Kemp.
Okay.
There's a microphone right there.
And you know, I say I want it to be about more. It has to be bigger than me because I couldn't have done this or started. First, let me back it up. I'm not even a nonprofit organization. I didn't even consider that. The first thing was get the goods out there to the people. Not looking for my name to be anything kind of anyhow. And you know what else I said? I was born and raised in this city. I know a lot of people. And I've done a lot of favors. All I'm going to do is call them in. Give me some sneakers. Give me some jeans. Give me some hoodies. Give me some helping hands. And they said, all right. They said, all right. I joked one time. I don't do Facebook and all that anymore. I was on there. I had over 1,000 followers. And I did a joke with my friends. I said, I'm running for mayor of this city, y'all. I said, y'all got my back. They said, you not only do we have your back, we want you to do it. We know how you work, and you would do a great job. I said, you know what I said? I said, I'm joking. I'm joking, everybody. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. No, that's why I kill. I said, I'm just joking.
Nah, this is a beautiful thing for me because one of the things, first of all, we are a resource show. And we talk about when we explain being a resource show, I say that a lot where I don't care if you giving something out of your trunk. You know what I'm saying? And it's just you. And it's
We've done that.
you a big organization that's helping. Like the people need to know that you exist.
That
They
you
need to know
exist.
that you're around. They need to
Exactly.
be inspired by you. They need to
They-
be able to help. They need
Oh,
to
they know.
volunteer. How can they do what you do? You know what I'm saying? So that is a beautiful thing for me, for you to say, yo, I ain't no nonprofit. We were straight out the trunk because we talk about that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
all of those things are what are resources. It's not just the big corporation. Because a lot of times nonprofits become corporate.
Sure.
They work so hard to make
sure.
sure that the money coming, and
Sure.
then once the money start coming, and you get more people
Well,
involved.
see,
and
but you
now
gotta be
you
careful.
get that corporation
Now
mentality.
you got to be careful because the mindset changes.
Right.
Right.
And that's why that's what I didn't want. When we first of all, back it up again. I've been doing outreach for many years. When the homeless used to live outside of John Wanamaker's at 13th and Market. My children, this was in the 80s. My children were 5, 6, 7, looking at the L, wondering why, mommy, all these people living in these tents down here like this. When Love Park was the original Love Park. And we used to park right there, and the Bell Telephone Building was right there on 18th and the Parkway, and they used to hold services every Sunday morning. We were out there feeding people. We were out there, people taking off their gloves off their hands and giving it to the people. They kicked them out of there. Okay, we worked with the welfare to work. As I did adult literacy, so that if necessary, I can open adult literacy center to help people go from welfare to work. You got to be able to read. You got to be not only to read, to comprehend. Reading and reading comprehension is not the same thing.
Not at all.
Not the same thing. So you have to understand what you're reading. And so I figured that's a start. At that point, a lot of grandmothers were helping the children because the parents were having issues, the whole crack thing, the whole drug thing. So the grandparents were the ones. And they haven't did the algebra in years, or their, complex sentences.
Right.
So we needed to help. And then that's when they put a lot of faith-based places to adopt schools in the area, to start to bring them in. And where I worship, we started a Family Life Wholeness Center. So then things seemed to get better. And I went on with some other things. And then it was laid on my heart in 2019. You have to go back. First of all, I was already showed that I was going back. I had a dream that my whole spiritual family, we have a single home in Fern Rock, and that I have a 6-foot wall from 11th and Negro to Warnock Street. And in my dream, my whole yard was a farm. And my spiritual family was bagging up the produce from my yard, and the people were reaching up to the wall on Warnock Street, and we was handing over bags, white bags. We have packed my husband's car and my coworker on the train. We have taken white bags down to 8th and Market. I worked at Pennsylvania Hospital 31 years. Before I got to 8th and Spruce, she might have had 9 or 10, I might have had 9 or 10, as many as we could carry, with water in them, sandwiches. We give out toiletry bags, we give out toilet paper. How you gonna feed them and not give them toilet paper? We give out sanitary napkins, things, because a lady on the street still has her issues.
She still does.
Okay, and she needs to be clean for all of our sake. So we would give out the bags walking. Before I got the locust, I didn't have anything. To see a senior citizen tear a bottle of water open and drink it down so fast is heartbreaking to me, because I didn't feel as though I had enough water.
Right.
And my goddaughter, who also works with me, she was going to be here tonight, said, but Mama, we can only carry but so many. I said, I know, I got to figure out something. One of my patients from the hospital said, I'm going to buy your cart. I said, buy it for me and I'll use it. I'll pack it up with waters.
I like that, because I think people who, a lot of folks who are out here and who want to help, who do help, we feel like when something is offered, like we shouldn't, no, I don't need that, But it's like, we have to come to the understanding. My sister tell me, I tell her, we tell each other, we all tell each other that's in this field, like, yo, you got to take those things and you'll be able to do what you do better. It's not about having it for you, like how you said, like, you buy that car, I'm gonna make it work. Like, it's not about me having the car.
But wait a minute, let me clarify something. Everything I do is to plant a seed, because I can only reap, what I sow. So if you don't plant a seed, how you gonna harvest anything?
Exactly, that's true.
So to save me, I got to save you, because as long as I'm feeding and clothing, I should not be hungry nor naked. Simple as that.
Don't that sound like?
Simple as that.
Don't that sound like what I be saying? Because I got a lot of things that I say a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I like to say them a lot, so it could, like any other tool to get people to start.
Power.
Yes, they do. So I always say my thing is become self-sufficient through the service of the people. Like the more you give, the more you'll never need anything. The more you give to the universe is always going to return that in
because
kind.
that is spiritual law. You reap what you sow. Same thing. It's sowing and reaping. No matter
Exactly.
what word you use, no matter how you cut it,
Right.
it's what goes around, come around. It's that same thing of karma. Call it what you. And I tell everybody, I love my karma. Not afraid of my karma. Most people are. I said, I welcome my karma. I hope I get it half
not
as
always
good.
negative.
They must not be doing something.
I
if they
hope I
afraid of their
get
karma.
half, because you know everything. Don't karma go around. They use karma as a negative way, but karma is also a very positive thing.
And
Depending on what your karma is.
We've had that conversation too about karma is not always negative.
It's
You
only-
tend to talk about it.
You make your
in
own
the negative,
karma.
you know what I mean? You tend to talk about it in the negative, and that just becomes a thing. It's an orientation now. Aaron, when people talk about karma, they always think your karma is something negative
Something
that's coming
bad
back,
that's coming
and
back.
that's not. I talk about my
It
experience
can
being
be.
incarcerated.
But
It
because
definitely.
It definitely can be.
It's only that which you give out to the universe will come back.
you gonna get
Period.
back.
The end. That's all it is.
That's
Now,
all.
if you're giving jump, you're gonna
That's you
get
gonna
jump.
get back.
You're giving love, you're gonna get love. When we first started coming out in 2019, and it's funny because we came out, we started back again November of 2019 at Broad Island. November, December, January 2020, COVID came. That was the first time we had ever given toilet paper and sanitizers and personal hygiene, because the spirit laid it on my heart to go back out there, and I was trying to avoid it. Told me 5 years ago, you're going to be doing it, but I didn't know COVID was coming. I heard that LA had a terrible time with the homeless. LA is so bad, it's divided up into family living outside, family outside, single outside, couples. They have sections so that a family with young children don't have to be with a couple who may be making out there. So their homeless is so bad. Rather than put buildings and structures, they're gonna divide the street.
The area
So,
under the bridge.
but what they do with that being said, they're really intense on what they supply them with. They're the ones who gave me the idea for the toilet paper before COVID came. They're the ones who gave me the idea for the first time in all of these years to give personal hygiene needs, toiletry bags, different things like that. And notepads. They got to keep their information together.
Right.
They got to, be able to document and write things down. And so that's where I got that from. We started in 2019. In 2020, that's when COVID came. We had already given out hundreds and hundreds of bottles of sanitizer and hundreds of rolls of toilet paper, and now can't nobody get them. That's why I knew how I was doing that. I was always one step ahead of the game. Always.
Now, the thing, so I usually ask people, because she came in, and just start running, which I greatly appreciate. But we usually ask people like who they are, and you went into that, and we asked what is their resource, and you went into that. But it's like you kind of went into this too. But I want people to really understand, like, why do you do what you do? You've said why, but I like more directly, like, why do you get up and do this? Why do you get in your car? Why do you cook the food?
Okay, I'm going to tell you. The main reason why I do what I do is because I'm extremely grateful for my life. The Most High has been very good to me and my 7 siblings and my children and all of that. I know the difference between having and not is the favor on your life. And I know that there's no respect of person. If it happened to one, it's possible it could happen to you as well. So if I approach it like it could be me, and if it was me and my children in tow, how would I want it? Would I want people saying one piece of this and one piece? Would I want to say, or would I want to feel like I'm shopping? Would I want somebody to encourage my heart to uplift my own life? And so it almost brings me to tears because I think about my babies. And I think about not having a place to go when they were young. Because they were always, Mommy, is this going to be all right? And Mommy, is my daddy, he's always worked 2 jobs. Is something wrong with my dad? Are we going to be okay? I can imagine what it's like if they in your hand and we got to go over there and get food from that table. And maybe the people are not so nice because they shining on us.
That's the problem.
Because they see my situation and want to elevate themselves to be somebody. But I know, sweetheart, you ain't doing that good in your house either.
Exactly.
I know you ain't. Because I know people in human nature. Because the more loved you are and the kinder you are and the more you have, the more humble you must be. It makes me humble every day that I know that I have so much that I should get. That's love. abundance,
Mhm.
and I need to give it back. I
Yes.
have to give it back. Again, making my own way, planting my own seed, and not having my life be in vain.
Right.
Right.
And I answer to the prize of a higher calling. I am spiritual first and foremost.
Mm.
Well, we'll get into who I am later on. I'm gonna leave
Because you
that there
definitely got to come back.
because I'm getting ready to take
we
you
ain't get
further than you're ready to go.
No, not on
Only
this show.
well,
not
no,
on this
not
show.
on this show. We can't go. No,
No.
well,
You
I don't
can't.
know.
You can't
I
take us further than we.
well, I don't know. Well, no. Only
Yeah,
because when you said something
can.
about
Yes, she can.
Hebrew Israelites, y'all stopped. And me and my husband looked and smiled at each other. But I'm gonna leave that there. We'll talk about that another time.
Listen, you.
We're gonna talk about
You
it.
will definitely
You know why?
have to come on
Because
and we have
this
to
is
talk about
about
that.
right. Because right now we want to. And I was very fortunate too. I'm a people person, and for some reason, a lot of people like me. I can sit at my desk and sell $600 worth of candy for my little boy at school, and don't have to leave my chair
Right.
Mhm.
because like I said, reap what I sow.
Right.
I'm always there for somebody
Right.
in a number of ways. We have a 4-bedroom house in Fern Rock. We use 1 bedroom. I'm thinking about taking in either a foster child with a baby or somebody who's aged out or whatever, and I want to help guide and direct and help them with it. See, anybody that is sent my way, the man upstairs sent them because they
Right.
need to know how I get it in.
See, and
Exactly.
I'm going to move everything that's within my power, and he's within my power. The earth is his and the fullness thereof, and I can go after it all. And because I believe that and I'm not afraid, I'm going after it all for you, for her, for him, for you,
Yeah, I need it.
and for me.
I need
Absolutely
it.
right.
Sure.
Absolutely right.
I wanted to say
You're going to be much
something.
better off when I'm finished
For
with
sure.
you.
I wanted to say something about what you were saying about being loved and how it feel good to get that back. Like I do tell people that a lot. Like I've been through a lot of things. I've seen a lot of things. I've been in a lot of situations, but I know what it's like to be loved by folks. Like
Right.
I really know, and that's one of the things that make me go hard because for me to hear that somebody is not being loved, like it kind of blows my mind. Like
Yeah.
to hear that you are not being loved and you have evidence to show me like this is where I'm at in my life and people for whatever reason, but you're not feeling loved. And for me, that blows my mind. I'm like, yo, what can we do? What
But you
can
know
I
what?
do?
It's a difference. It's a difference. We got to be very careful. Words are very important in how we speak. It's a difference in not feeling loved and being loved. Okay? It depends on what you define love to be. See, some women think if you don't knock them upside the head, you don't love them. But that's not love.
Right.
That's misconstrued.
Mhm.
Okay? So sometimes I'm showing you love. Sometimes love means you've got to get up and go to work. I can't let you continue this.
Yeah.
You don't like that. So
Tough
you go
love.
out and tell somebody she doesn't love me because
Tough
she's being
love.
hard on me.
Mhm.
But I love you. I want you to be the best. I cannot coddle you because
Exactly.
you have your own aim, mission, and purpose. I must see that it's fulfilled. Even your children
Yes.
don't
Right.
belong to you. So it's a difference. And we're very lost on understanding. That's why I say comprehension is everything.
Yeah.
Reading words is one thing. Comprehending what they really mean can lose you.
It can.
Now,
Yes, it can.
when we first were going back out and all, and everybody say, where y'all from? We sat off our couch, looking at the news, wondering why y'all hurting each other, and how can I show you that I care? So I want you to go back and tell somebody, there's a lady out here who is upset. She's gonna be the strap on everybody because she wants y'all to stop doing what you're doing, and she loves y'all. And she was out and she was feeding and she bought all this stuff. And I said, that's what I want you to do for me. You gonna tell the people? I said, y'all out here on the street. You hear the young boys talking. You see, you can show them love. Turn them around. Tell them don't do that. I said, y'all out here, you collecting up. Now, take 8 toilet papers if you're going to get 2 and 3 of them to people that you know in your building. You can still pay it forward,
Pay it
even when you
forward.
think you
That's
don't.
it right there.
Even when you think you don't have anything. If we're giving
Exactly.
away socks and sweatshirts, like we told the guy, go down. We was at Broadway House. Go down to the shelter and tell the guys we out here. Because they were in there watching the football game. Everybody wanted something for themselves. They was afraid that they would take what they wanted if they went and got the other people.
Right.
That's a mentality we must lose.
Yes.
That's part of a cursed mind, and that's another conversation.
Yes,
That
indeed.
is
So listen.
definitely part of a cursed mind.
So listen, to always let us go over. I appreciate you. I do need you to tell everybody who you are again and where they can find you. Like
I am
social
again
media, if
Sonia
you're not on
McCall.
there.
We are Our Brothers Keeper 101. We are on Instagram. You must underscore the O and B in brother because we've been hacked. Don't ask me why. But it's Our Brothers Keeper 101 on Instagram. We also have a Our Brothers Keeper 101 at Gmail. If you have an organization or if you have a need, if there's anything that we can do, if we can come and do a giveaway for you, we would love to do it. If you have things that you need, if it's seniors, if it's children, if it's men, if it's women, whatever it might be, hit us up and we'll see that you get what you need.
And she definitely come through.
Not only that, I want to say this. I've been very, very fortunate. Working 31 years at Pennsylvania Hospital, I've met a lot of very prominent people. The Dietz and Watson Company, which the last name is not Dietz or Watson, but they're very good friends of mine. They give me $1,500, $1,200, $1,700 worth of sausages, lunch meat, cheese, whatever I ask them for. No pork because I don't eat it, and I don't give it out. If I don't eat it, I'll give it out. If I wouldn't wear it, I wouldn't put it out there.
Right.
You know, I am my brother's keeper. You are me. I am you. Is no respected person. So I'm not. I want you to be as good as me. I don't see nobody under me. I see as good as me. As good, we can lock arms and we can do this thing. People that have come up on the street and just given us money. People have come up, bought us tables. We used those long 6-foot tables. Just got money to was given $100 to buy two. We just bought two at the Walmart, $49.97, two tables, $49 a piece. Right. And I got two because I was handed $100 to go do just that. So I can get at $1 now. Trust me when I tell you. And I make friends very easily because I love people.
I know. I'm not going to ask her. I'm going to wait until the next time she come on the show because she will be back. So
of course.
I hate the cut the wisdom off, as people say. You know what I mean? But we do have a time constraint, and we will have her back on the show, and we are collaborating with
Our Brothers Keeper 101.
With Cornerstone Drop-In Center, Eddie's house, 2321 North Broad Street. Listen, if she see one thing she don't know about us is we take all you trying to provide. All you trying to provide, we gonna take it because it is a need and we see it every day. Broad Street is very salient on what the issues are in our city because we see all of it on Broad Street.
Right.
Listen, if you go to Center City, I worked, I'm going to tell you again, at 8th and Spruce for 31 years. I got off that 8th and Market train and walked up that street. And I have seen, and it's gotten worse. It has gotten, since the pandemic and all the stimulus, it has gotten worse.
Yes, it has.
Trust me when I tell you. We be at JFK, 15th JFK. Now, we used to be on the municipal service side. We can't do that anymore. They put up them murals there, and they got all that block off, so we went across the street. Across the street is even worse. All the way down Parkway up to 18th Street, we got a line.
So right before we get out of here, can you tell us where you're going to be next?
The very next giveaway is this coming Sunday, November the 13th at 49th and Arch at the Gardenzia Kirkbride Phillies Family Forward Shelter area right there.
Gotcha. So this is PSA, Philly Service Announcement. I'm the assist. This the Queen.
Your girl Nick.
Raw Cannon.
The
Nick.
love supporting.
She in the building, y'all.
Yeah.
Always real.
Yo, I really
pleasure.
appreciate the black love coming up. It's a family show. We love when it come through. I can tell that support is really there because you can tell when it ain't. I know we be trying to be good actors, but you can tell when it's not there, man.
Listen.
And we appreciate you. We appreciate you, Queen. We appreciate you, King.
Yes.
This is Philly Service Announcement one more time. Takeover
Yes.
Tuesday. That's what we doing out here. Is we doing this out here? That's what we doing out here. Serving the people.
What we doing out
Serving our people.
Yep, absolutely.
Carly, you got anything, Carly?
At least we're trying our very best. It's nothing but love from the heart, and that's all we can do is our best. Love from the heart.
And I can't wait to have her back on the show because it's just so much.
Because we gonna go there. Because she said I'm take y'all there. All right.
Yeah, she already put it out there,
Yeah.
so we know when she come back, it's gonna be some conversation to
It's
be
going
had.
down.
So
Anything you want to talk about.
Hey,
I got a little bit of something for it.
Hey.
Okay. So we gonna get out. I appreciate all the chats
Thank
from the
you very
family,
much for
brothers
having
and
me.
sisters
I
out there.
appreciate you
Please
guys having me.
stay in the chat. Stay in the chat.
that
Get with
chat.
us. Put
Thank
your
you for
questions up there. I
chiming
will
in.
have glasses at some point. I will read what you got to say.
I can read.
And if you
I got
see me in the
glasses.
street and you feel some type of way, hey, holla at me, man. Holla at me. But get in the chat, please, y'all. Love, support, and grace.
And thank you
We
very,
out
very
here.
much.
This guy.
Thank you.
We out,
I
y'all.
wasn't talking about holler at me like that. I was like, with the love. Open your arms up. Give me a hug.